Are you still living in a dirt hut? We've been over this. Of course I live in a dirt hut. Would you like to live in a nice desert house instead? That does look nice, but isn't it really hot in the desert? Then do I have a deal for you. This fine desert house can be yours for the low price of 64 diamond blocks. I'm a little short on diamonds. Can I give you an IOU instead? I'll take it as a deposit with the balance due later, but in the meantime, you'll have to watch the tutorial video. I can do that. Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a desert house in Minecraft. Let's get started. So first we want to take a tour of the desert house model to see if you want to construct one. So as you can see, we do have a nice little garden out here at the front and an L-shaped house with an upper story here as well for you to use. Now, when I build in the desert, I like for my builds to stand out against the desert, which means we will not be using sandstone. For this model, we're going to be using a bit more colorful materials, some granite, cobbled deep slate, diorite, and some deep slate tiles for that as well. And of course, being a desert house, since it doesn't rain there, we don't need a sloped roof. So we can have these nice little areas up here to stand on, and some generous spaces up here as well for a little sunroom at the top. Now we can also see, if we drop down here to our main entrance, I have integrated a nether portal into this particular design here. So if we light that there, we do have an integrated nether portal up here at the front. You don't have to use the nether portal here if you don't want to, if you want to have your portal somewhere else, but this is still going to be your main entrance. But coming in from the main entrance, we do have a nice little shaded garden here with several palm trees, I think 5 palm trees to be exact, with their leaves blowing in the wind up there. Pretty nice, I think. A nice little relaxing space down here. A little pleasing water fountain as well for your infinite water spring. If we go into our house, we have a contrast because the inside is entirely done out of carved wood. Now, for the reference model here, I have used oak, but if you have a different type of wood you want to use, say acacia, or perhaps birch, or maybe even dark oak, it's going to be down to your personal preference. You can make substitutions in this direct one-to-one when I talk about the materials list later. But your main room here, it has 2 levels to it. Of course, we have a split level balcony over there. So if we go into this section over here of the house, we do have a little stairwell over here, which will take you to the second floor, which we will look at momentarily. We have some double doors back here for a large room you could perhaps use for a bedroom or a workroom or an enchanting room or just whatever you want to put in here. I'm, of course, presenting the build to you as unfurnished. But I expect that you have a specific way you probably like to set up your base. So that's what I generally like to do with these buildings here. I will give you an empty house, and it's up to you to do the decorating. And of course, we do have a little room under the stairs here for Harry Potter to live in there if you want to have him take up residence. So we have another room up here on the second floor, like the one we looked at below. But over here, we do have a little hallway. Another set of stairs there. But this will take you to the split level. And the main room, you have this little balcony here. You can look at your main room here. Plenty of space if you want to have your main storage chest stacked up against the wall in there. For your storage room, you can do that if you so please. We have another little storage room underneath this second set of stairs as well. So if we go up here to the third level, we have a nice pleasing sunroom up here at the top. Open to the sky for some nice ventilation. Help you cool off during the hot days in the desert. We do have several patios up here on the top as well. You can put up here, perhaps you want to start a little collection of flowers or something. Or add some potted plants up here, or just whatever you so choose to do. For these areas, there are 2 of them. One is a little bit larger than the other one. As you can see here, you can also use these as convenient landing pads for your elytra. If you don't want to go through your garden, you can just land up here and go through the house over there. And now, of course, I'm showing the house in a plains biome. But if you're going to be building this like actually in the desert, the trees aren't going to look quite as pleasing. In fact, they're going to look a decidedly unpleasing shade of brown here. So you might want to try and use the new azalea leaves. If I'm not mistaken, those will retain their color regardless of biome. At least that's my current understanding. So you may perhaps want to use those instead of the jungle leaves I have here as well. Well, there's not too much we can do about the grass. I don't know if moss changes color when you change the biome. If it doesn't, then you probably want to use moss instead of the grass there. But I will leave it up to you. Perhaps you like to have the brownish type of leaves. Over there, that will depend heavily on which biome you choose to construct your desert house in. So before we get to the tutorial, we need to take a look at the bill of materials. So instead of just flashing up a big list on the screen, I like to walk you through these myself. So you will be needing 1,765 blocks of granite, 572 blocks of diorite, 2,264 blocks of cobbled deep slate, 243 blocks of grass or dirt that will turn to grass, 4,354 blocks of cobble, 751 oak planks, or whichever type of wood you choose to use, you will need 751 of those. Some water, 1,686 oak tree trunks, 94 jungle bark blocks, that's the ones with the bark on all the four sides, for our palm trees in our garden out there at the front. For those also, we need 596 jungle leaves, although, like I said, if you're building this in the desert, you'll perhaps want to use azalea leaves for this, or perhaps some other green block that won't lose its color quite as bad as those do back there. 20 blocks of obsidian if you want the optional nether portal at the front. If you don't, then use, deep slate tiles, 20 more of those instead for the entrance. Tons of torches for survival, of course. 30 oak stairs, 400 oak fences. For the windows, 174 blocks of light blue stained glass, and also the same number for the panes. And 778 deep slate tiles, 284 oak wood slabs, and lastly 12 spruce doors for your doors. And you can, of course, if you like a different type of door, do feel free to make a substitution there for that. So it's not too bad. I think most of this you should already have in your chest. So we will now begin the tutorial itself. And this particular house, we will be going up at 1 block increments at a time for the entire house, not because the house itself is difficult, but because these trees are the main problem in doing this build. It's going to be half the battle because I'm going to be showing you these in sequence so you can get these placed correctly. So we will cross that bridge when we come to it. But firstly, the dimensions for the house are as follows. It is 43 by 40 by 31 blocks, tall. That is, all the way from down here to the top of the cornice up there at the top on the second story. And the first thing you want to do is make a 40 by 43 block square out of granite, like you see done here. So I think it's going to be, it's 40 across this way and 43 back that way. I should probably count that out though, just to make sure. There is going to be an additional block here at the front. By the way, it's not included in that measurement for our gateway. And that also does not include that the trees will hang over this section of the build at the front by several blocks. By, I think, 2 blocks at the front and 3, maybe 4 on the side. So take that into consideration. I don't think that there will be anything over here for you to be concerned about. Wherever you're building it, desert biomes tend to be quite empty. So you want to make your 40 by 43, and let's count across the front here. So as we go, I'm going to be using either the red coral or the stone slabs here as pointing and counting devices, just like a little laser pointer as we go. And the block you need to place is going to be directly beneath the slab. All right, so let's count across the front. 1, 2, 3. All right, 22 to get to there. And then for the front, going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to get to that side over there. So that's going to be the full measurement for the front. And as you can see behind that, we want to lay out our gardens as well as our fountain over here. Now the cobblestone in this build is going to be optional that I listed because in the tour we did not see any cobblestone, and that is because if I skip a couple of phases over here real quick, we can see all the blocks that are not visible from the outside, all the filler blocks are going to be cobblestone. So this will save us some materials as we go, save you a little bit of granite and cobbled deep slate and things like that. All right, so let me just give you a good top-down view of the starting foundation here. And let's zoom down and take some measurements on the ground. So from the front here, we can see, of course, for our nether portal, we have these 2 blocks here. And then from here all the way back to there, we want to measure 1, 2, 3, 10 blocks to get here. And then for our water fountain, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 by 6 for the fountain. And then, excuse me, trying to do a tutorial here. Come on. Oh, goodness, horses. Anyway, 1, 2, I can't believe it. You're back. What? Come on. Out of the way. Out of the way. There we go. Good horse. Anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for that measurement there, and that will get us to the cobbled deep slate here at the back. And then, oh, for goodness sake. Will you... Okay, I give up. You just stay here, have a nice life. Horses. Anyway, back here for the entranceway. So this is where our entranceway is. You remember that we walked inside. So we want to count out 3 additional blocks here, and that's going to be our entrance there. And to get all the way to the back from this point here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13 blocks there, 3 blocks here, and 1 block for the back. All right, so now that I put blocks on that have a nice texture to help you measure, and do double check me. When I do these measurements, very occasionally I will misspeak one of the numbers. I'll be off by 1, quite by accident, but it does occasionally happen. So let's go back over these. Right there, and that should do that. You can see on the corners here, we just have very simple setbacks of either 1 or 3 blocks for the cobbled deep slate, and then cobble behind that. We're going to be putting our wooden floor directly over the cobble, so you don't technically need the cobble. You can just fill that in with dirt or perhaps just nothing if you want to. Simple design there at the back corner, and the same for the corner over here. All right, let us now go on to the next phase, whereupon we will be going up an additional 1 block from the previous slice. So as we go, we will be seeing the slice that we do is now directly beneath this one. So we can see over here where we had the outlines for the cobble over here. We're now putting our building on top of that right here. And we're doing that with a bit of cobbled deep slate on the edges, some deep slate tiles, 5 blocks of granite right there, and another corner over here. Now, to explain some things for the trees and everything, to make things more clear, what I have done for this is I have changed all the leaf blocks. Let's go back over here for a moment. See all these leaf blocks down here? I have changed the positions of all of those for clarity to help you place them to these double thick stone slabs here. It's just this, but the ones with the border on the sides. Like so, and I'm going to give you a good look at this. And this is going to be the position for the first garden that you need to place. You can also see the positions for the jungle tree trunks we need to place there. I will just mark those out with the red wool as we go. And doing the organics is going to be probably half the difficulty of the entire build, even though it's a rather small section compared to the house. It is rather detailed. All right. So here is the other side. Very, very simple in comparison. Trees right there for your starting tree trunks. And you want to place your shrubs there. The water fountain here, your infinite water sources on either side. And your shrubs there. Of course, all around this, you want to have a just a small garden wall of granite like we have around the outside here. Of course, as you'll notice, we do have a double tall wall all the way around. This is, of course, to keep mobs out of your base. If you feel the need to extend this up another block, like so, do feel free to do so. That's going to be entirely up to you, of course. If you want to make changes to the reference model here, you are always free to do so, according to your own likes and desires and needs. So here is the doorway. We just got some oak tree trunks lying on their sides. A bit of granite, some cobbled deep slate, and a bit more of that on the corners here. Another 4 blocks of granite, 2 blocks of deep slate tiles, and 4 blocks of granite. Another corner. Some more granite, some more tiles, some granite and some tiles, and some granite and some tiles. In a 4:2 to 4:2 ratio, you want to do that all across the back. Of course, we have 5 granite sections and 4 deep slate tile sections. Same thing on the side over here, as you see done here. But I think some of these stretch out a little bit more. This is going to be 4, but these here are going to be 5. This is 5 also, and so is this one, but this one is 4. Therefore, that, and behind here, of course, we have the pattern for our nice oak floors. And you want to do that according to this design here. We're just doing a simple alternating between the planks and the vertical tree trunks, like you see done here. Got a little outline here for our stairs. And of course, for our main rooms, our 2 posts holding up at the mezzanine level. Like so right there. And let me just go back and show you the entire thing from the top down in profile, so you can see what we've done so far. And I think I glossed over this a little bit here. This is going to be another 5 block section right there, and 5 here also, and 5 across the front. All right, so now that we have gotten the literal foundational sections of the build out of the way, we can begin to make a little bit more progress. So we have our corners here again, cobbled deep slate straight up. This section here, same deal. Let's begin with the gardens, and then we will tackle the house, I think. So over here we have the details for the entranceway, for your optional nether portal. Very simple design. Over here, we have more blocks again. Of course, these blocks here, these show you the places that you need to place your leaf blocks. Underneath, for clarity, I have converted the leaf blocks back to just green wool here. So I will only be showing you the current layer with these blocks here, but as we go up, this layer will turn back to green wool like you see here. So these are showing you the current positions to put those on top of your previous leaf blocks. And this is the only way I can think of to make these as clear as possible. You can see, of course, we have our tree trunk there, our fountain in the middle here, and the details over here for this garden bed. All right, on the other side, I will show you this here from the top down. And from the side, so you can see where all of that needs to go. Of course, if you want to have your own custom tree design or redecorate my shrub designs, do feel free to change the gardening. All right, over here, let's start now at the doorway and make a circuit around the house. We will look at the outside first, and then we will look at the inside. Most of the exterior at this phase is going to be repeating patterns. Just stacking up what you did previously. Of course, we have the cobblestone fill inside the areas of the wall that are not visible. We do have a nice thick house here for you to live in. Of course, we have to do that to keep out the desert heat. Nice thick walls are good at doing that. And along the front here. And along the side here. And as we go, remember, just pause and replicate the block patterns that you see on your screen. That's how the tutorial is designed to be used. So you can build this structure at your own pace. So here is a view on the inside. Of course, we have our nice wood details. I've used just very simple and inexpensive oak wood for this. But if you want to use perhaps some acacia for a desert house, that might look quite nice in here as well. I don't typically use acacia myself. But if you want a dark wood, perhaps a dark oak or a spruce. I'm not sure about birch, really. There's not really any good use for birch except to make chests out of it. So here we have our first step of our staircase. Mr. Potter's room down here behind that. And the details for the oak wood tree trunks, either vertical or lying on their sides like we see done here. So let me just give you a good top-down view of this entire section. And then this section over here at the front. All right. And now let us go on to the next phase. So over here, we're about to put in some of the windows, but let's look again at the gateway and the gardens, and then the house. Very simple for the gateway. Over here, just a bit of wood for our gardens. We placed all our shrubs, so we are going to get a break from that for a while until we get up to the tree canopy up there. And then we'll have to slow down for that. You can go ahead and place 2 blocks of water here if you want to for your fountain. Another tree trunk there. Another one here. And a couple more over right there. Not too bad. Okay, let's start at the exterior at the front and make a circuit around the house, and then we will take a look at the inside. So we can see for our window lattice, we have some oak wood fences. And behind that, we have a pane and a full block. And as we go for the windows here, we are going to be doing, on top of this, we will be doing a full block and then a pane. And we're going to flip and alternate these as we go. That's why there are equal numbers of those in the materials list. So here are our corners. We do have a little setback on the sides there for that. And all of the window designs, I think they're going to be two types of window designs. They're going to be repeating patterns. So if you do one of these and you swing around back here, they're going to be the same. Like you see, just a repeating module pattern. Like that there. And we swing around to the side here. Same deal, except we now have double windows. Right there. And then single window here, double at the front, and then doubles along the side here on the inside by your garden. All right, let's take a look inside. So I think it's fairly self-explanatory. You're just placing a lot of glass and a lot of wood. Right in here, you can also go ahead and place your doors. And we're placing the first couple of blocks for our structural support for the split level in the main room. Our second flight of stairs. Doors there into the next room here. And for the interior design, as you can see, it is also fairly repetitive. It's even more repetitive than the exterior sections. Of course, we have quite a lot of windows in this design, wherever we could reasonably fit them in. All right, let's go on to the next level. Goodness, at the horses. Anyway, over here at our entranceway. Very simple for that still. Couple more tree trunks here. Couple of blocks of granite there. 3 blocks there and 3 blocks over here for this. All right, for our doorway, we have a wooden lintel over our doorway here. Like so. Let's spin around the exterior. The exterior for a little while is going to be fairly repetitive in its design as we just stack up the layers. If we take a quick look inside, we can see what I was talking about with the alternating full blocks and then panes there. So you want to reverse those every time you go up, like so. This is just a nice little design I like to use to add a bit more texture to my windows. But if you don't like this, you can use either only full blocks or only panes. Or you can also feel free to change the color of the glass or just alternate the glass colors as well if you so choose. Perhaps a nice orange or something if you want to use acacia wood. Do feel free to get inventive with the design and materials. I always encourage that. Same deal for the windows on the sides. Just what you did on the last phase, stack that all up again. Is all that essentially is there. No surprises. On the inside, it's also going to be the same deal. You can see here with the wood designs, you're just stacking up your tree trunks and your oak wood planks along the walls here. A few more stairs there. Lintels over these doorways. And the interior rooms over here as well. So let's take a look at that from the top down. And move on to the next phase. So our entranceway over here is still going straight up for now. Like so. A few more blocks for our trees. Right here for our bending palm trees, like so there. 2 blocks of granite here. This will complete this fountain. For our main doorway here, the details for the wood. And for the windows along the exterior and everything, we're just stacking everything straight up like we did before. So we can save a little bit of time on this phase since that's all a repetition of everything that we just did. Just a quick spin around there to show you that. Let's take a look on the inside. It's also going to be the same deal. And the positions of the torches here, of course, just suggestions. If you're going to be doing this in survival, you need to place down a lot more torches than that. We don't want to have creepers spawning and blowing up your nice new desert house. That'd be really bad. I just want to give you a quick look here. The only real change is the stairwell over here. Some small details for that. Otherwise, we will take a look at this from the top down and move on to the next phase. So our doorway here is now going to be complete. If you want to, you can go ahead and light your nether portal there. I don't need to go to the nether today, so we will get rid of that. Details here for the palm trees. Right there for those. Going to be the easy bit of the palm trees. Over here for the doorway, we have a granite lintel over the doorway now. And the windows on the outside are still the same as the last several phases. Like you see done here, you want to stack all of that straight up all the way around. Just take a quick spin around to show you that. And the interior is going to follow that same pattern again, like you see done here. Just another step over here for the stairs. So let's take a look from the top down. And go on to the next phase where we have some new elements. So over here, we have a couple of more blocks of obsidian there, 4 blocks. At the back here. Now we see these blocks again here, which means that these should be leaf blocks. So every time you see one of these, you should be placing a leaf block here if you want to mirror the exact design I have for the palm trees. Now, in order to get the positions of some of these, I'm going to try and make some air measurements. So that one is going to be easy. It's just 3 blocks away from that one right there. It's attached directly to this. So as we go, we can use these 2 points as references to help us build the rest of the trees. Of course, this tree over here hangs the lowest down of all the trees. So those are our first couple of blocks. We have a bit more over here for the tree trunks. Right there. 3 here for that. And 1 here for that. All right, let's turn our attention to the house now. So we have a bit more granite over the doorway. Over our windows, we have a bit of diorite, like you see done there. We want to do that at this level for every single window. So like you see done here, you're continuing up with the deep slate tiles, but we are crossing over with the diorite. Right there. For all of those, around the front and around the sides. All right, let's go inside now. So we have also crossing horizontally are going to be our oak tree trunks, laying on their sides here to cap off those windows just right behind the diorite. And this is also going to be our first floor level that we're going to be putting in up here. But let's take a look at that from below first. So we're going to have our tree trunks as beams going straight across this way. And then we're going to have some going at 90-degree angles across here to make this coffered pattern for our ceiling. Of course, these are going to be oak wood slabs. 4 of those in the middle of each coffer. Like we see done here. Of course, our stairs go all the way up to the top here. Get back to that in a moment. Of course, we have our finished hallway over here with our doors. And the first room down here is finished. So if you want to, you can go ahead and move into this space right here. And set up shop with your chest and everything to help you build the rest of the house. Let's go back up these stairs and take a look at everything that we have here from the top down now. Get some good close-in views of that here. I know some of you only build on your phones, so I try to always get very close-in views of things as well as having things zoomed out to help assist you. And I think we can now move on to the next phase. So we're getting off into the weeds here with the trees. Small joke. Anyway, we have, of course, our main doorway here. Being done like that with the granite and the cobbled deep slate. So underneath here, we can see these first two blocks that we placed with our green wool. And you can use these as a measuring guide to help you place this block here. And as well as this block over here. This is going to be in line with right here. We want to count out 1, 2, 3, 4. And that will get you to that block there. We do have a few more blocks over here for our tree trunks. 2 blocks there, 2 more there, 1 there, and if you count out from this block here, 1, 2, 3 blocks, you can place your next leaf block right there. And 1 more here, and 1 more there. All right, let's turn our attention to the house now. So we have our deep slate tiles, making a door frame across the front here. We have our windows starting up again. Like you see here, these are going to be smaller windows than the ones we just built, but they're the same pattern with the alternating glass and the oak fences and everything. Right there, no surprises on the exterior again. We're right back to the same pattern we were doing 2 phases ago. For that, the interior is going to be just a little bit different. We will take a look at that momentarily. But as I said, the outside is all repeating patterns. So once you do one of those, you should already be ahead of me and doing the rest of those. So in here, in our large great room, our entrance hallway, we are back to what we were doing before. Now we do have some oak fences over here on our split level, so you don't fall off of your second level up here. Safety first. Over here for our stairs, of course, they come out over here, so we have some double stacked oak tree trunks, vertical and on their sides. And for our next flight of stairs, we have that over here as well again. And in general, for the walls and everything, you're following the same patterns we did on the first floor. You're just doing all of that again. Of course, we have our second set of double doors up here, right at the top of the stairs for easy access. And then just a twist turn around here to get into this section over here. All right, let's take a look at that from the top down. And we will move on to the next phase. All right, more leaf blocks. Leaf blocks are going to get complicated very soon. Over here, we have our entrance gateway, capped off by granite now. Like you see done there. Of course, as I said below, all the leaf blocks we previously placed have now been converted to green wool. And the new blocks are going to be, of course, the double stacked smooth stone slabs, like you see done here. For these at the front, you can use the previously placed blocks here as a guide to help you place these here. So I shouldn't have to measure these. I mean, this one's directly on top of one you've already placed. And these other ones are placed directly connected to our tree trunk. Right there. And same for this one out here. So another tree trunk there. Another block here. This one here is going to be 1, 2, 3 blocks and 1 block over. Out from that there. Another tree trunk there. And another one here. We do have a connected leaf block over here. And here from this point right here is going to be 4 blocks out. And then a leaf block right there for that. All right, I think that's all the leaf blocks I see. Let's look at the house again. So, of course, we have our granite over the doorway. And our windows on the outside. Same deal as before, so we can save some time in describing that. Since it's all going to be the same, so let's go ahead and look at the inside. The inside is going to be also the same. The only differences we're going to have are going to be over here on our second level. So let me give you a good look in here. Of course, we have our second room under the stairs here. Perhaps Dobby can live in that room. Over here, of course, we have our stairs again. Our double doors over here for our room up here. Like a nice guest bedroom up here, I think. If you have any guests. And let's take a look at this from the top down real quick. And over here as well. All right, let's move on to this next phase over here. A lot more new leaf blocks. Let's take a look at the entranceway first. We're almost done with this little entranceway here. We're starting to put the cornice on it. Like so, very simple design for that. And we have another assortment of leaf blocks. Most of these are connected to various things, so I'm just going to give you a good top-down view of this section here. These are either only 1 or 2 blocks apart from each other. Another tree trunk there, here, and there. And this leaf block here. And these out here. And this one is going to be 1, 2, 3 blocks away from that one. 2 blocks to get to that one. And from here, you can just count directly over for 3 blocks to place that one. More tree trunks here and here. This goes directly on top of that one. You want to count over 1 and then 3 and then 2 more that way for a total of 3. You can get that one, and then counting over 3 more from there and over 1 block, you can get that one and then that one there. So let me show you a good top-down view of that there. I think I've given you all the measurements for the ones that may be difficult. I don't think you'll have any difficulty with that one. Let's take a look at the house now. So we're doing also a cornice over our main entranceway, like you see done here. Granite over the windows now at the top. We're going to be doing granite over all the windows at this level here. Same along the back, straight line of granite, just interrupted by the deep slate tiles, like you see done here. All right, let's take a look at the inside. So we are capping off our windows on the inside, just like we did down here. You're doing that again, right up there. And over here for this level for our stairs, another flight of stairs. Our little hallway here. An oak lintel over the doorway there. That stairwell there. And the guest bedroom up here. All right, making good progress. Let's go on to the next phase. So for the cornice up here, we're basically doubling what we did at the previous phase for that. And behind that we have a lot of leaf blocks. Let's start over here and take a look at this. Of course, we have our tree trunk block right there. And you can use the corner of the cornice there to help you place this selection of blocks here. Now, this block here is going to be 2 blocks away from that one. And then if we want to, we can use this block we already placed here to place these 2 blocks there. Another tree trunk here, another leaf block there. 3 leaf blocks connected to our tree trunk right here. This one over here is going to be 3 and then 1 over from that. And this one out here is just directly on top of what we've already placed. For that there, air block of gap 1 there. And then over here count an additional 4 blocks, if I can place it right, 4 blocks to get out there. And over here we are going to have just 3 blocks of gap right there. Of course, for the trees, these are organic shapes. So if you want to just get approximate locations for these blocks, it's not necessary that you get them to be exact. But I am trying to give the measurements for that if you wish to do so. This is directly on top of the leaf block here. And 3 blocks away from that one there. Over here, another tree trunk here. These 2 directly on top of these blocks here, directly in line with this one, 3 blocks away there. 2 blocks here for that one. And then out here, you can use this and count out 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks for that one there. Now, let me try and show you that from the top down real quick. That may not be very helpful. But there it is. And let's take a look at our house now. So for the entranceway to the house, same deal as our gateway. Like so. The exterior, I believe at this level is going to be just a copy of the last level that we did with the granite and everything, like so. I'll just take a quick spin around that to show you. Not too difficult. On the inside here, of course, we're going back to having a lot of oak on the walls. Here, we're done building windows on the inside of this room. So let's go over here, take a look at our stairwell, heading up to the sunroom at the top. And of course, just details over here for our guest bedroom. No surprises in these rooms. I think you have a good idea about the repeating patterns on this now. So we will go on to the next phase, wherein I describe a lot of leaf blocks. I almost didn't add these palm trees to this building because of these leaf blocks. I didn't really know how I was going to describe this to you. But I think that this way will be helpful. So I decided to go ahead and include those and give you some nice custom trees to impress your friends with. Over here, we do have a bit of cobbled deep slate at the top, right here, and that will complete this nether portal entranceway right here as well. Of course, as I said, the portal itself is optional, but the entranceway does need to be built. A lot of horses on this map. They're everywhere today. Anyway, moving along. For this tree here, we're done building tree trunks. And we're now placing leaf blocks. And you can use the corner of the cornice here to place this selection of blocks here and that one there. And we will also use this to count out what? From here, I want to count out 1 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks for this block here. This block here is going to be 3 blocks and then 1 over. Well, 4 and then 1 over from that one there. And the next selection of blocks, we're going to have a tree trunk here. And one here. And, oh, this is a lot of blocks. Let's use this block here we've just placed to help place that. So 3 blocks over this way, and then 2 more that way for that one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks more for that. And then these blocks here, 2 blocks away from that. And then just 1 block over from that, you want to place these. And that one there. And then counting from here, we want to count out 4 blocks. No, 5 blocks to get to that one there. That's just placed directly on top of one from the previous phase. Over here, of course, this one 2 blocks away from the tree trunk here. And then that one's directly on top of one we placed. So is that one. And not that one, but it's diagonal to that one there. And these 2 blocks here also as well are diagonal to previously placed blocks. Over here, though, we have our tree trunk. 2 blocks here, gap of 1, 3 blocks, gap of 1, and then a gap of 1 there in that block. And counting from here, 3 blocks for this one there. For that, I know it's rather tedious and a little bit difficult, but you know, organic shapes in Minecraft, very difficult to describe, especially when they're all disconnected leaf blocks like this. This is really my first attempt to try to explain a series of custom trees like this. Usually I will leave them out of builds entirely because of this reason. But as I said, they look too nice. So I always strive to give you the best house to live in, so we're just going to try and do that. Over here, cobbled deep slate all the way around the building. All the way around the side there, around the back, this side over here, around the front, all the way around. As you see done there, and then just straight cobble behind that. On the inside, same patterns again. Nothing real major to talk about here. Same deal for the stairwell. The guest bedroom. And all of that good stuff down in there. And we would go on to the next phase where we're going straight back to the leaf blocks. We have several difficult phases of leaf blocks to get through. I'm going to endeavor to describe these. I think you can see where that one sits. This one also right there, pretty easy. Now we're done with tree trunks for this particular tree. So I think you can see that this is sitting very close to the cornice block over here for, to the cornice block over here for that. So I will just show you this pattern here. We've just got air gaps of 1 for that one. This one here, this sits directly over and up 1 from that there. These 2 are connected to the house right there. This one has an air gap of 3 away from that one. We do have 1 back here where we have 2 more tree trunks right there. And counting from the tree trunk, counting from that block there, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 for this block right there. All right, back to the trees over here at the front. Show you this here. I don't think I need to measure those. We do have these out here though. We want to take a measurement from here and count 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 6, isn't it? To get to here. 2 blocks for that. Over here we have 1 more tree trunk here and here. And attached leaf blocks to the tree trunk like that there. That shouldn't be too bad. You can see how all those fit together. And then just an air gap of 2 right there to get to this L section. And then over here, these are connected to our outer blocks, which we already placed right there, right here, diagonally, and over here with a gap of 1. Another block here, a diagonal block, but related to these blocks. Over here, we just have a gap of 1 and then 2 blocks, a gap of 2 and then a leaf block, and then another gap of 2 straight away from that. Over here, we're going to have a gap of probably 3 to place those blocks there. And then I already counted that one. So hopefully that's going to be good enough for the leaf blocks. Remember, they don't have to be in the exact positions. If you're having difficulty with this, just do your best. Organic builds like this are very forgiving with their exact block placement. The house, however, is not. So over here, as we can see, we just have cobbled deep slate. Just copy what you did on the last phase for the exterior, all the way around. Let's take a look at the inside. We're getting ready to put on a ceiling for our rooms now, for the second level. Like so, like that there. So we want to put, we want to connect our beams across the front here. We have our stairwell getting ready to go up to the 3rd floor of our building. For that inside of there. All right, quick look from the top down. And we will go on to the next phase where we can see all of that starting to come together. Quite a few more phases to go. Most of it is tree, though. We have several phases of difficult tree blocks to get through. So we finished our entranceway now, so we are just focusing on these trees and the house. And then finally the house once we get past the tree canopy. Let's start over here. So you can see our tree trunk blocks here. Let me go down and give you a view under here of how these have been relating to each other. Underneath here and underneath here, I think I should break that block there so you can see. Take a look at this one over here. I think we're finished with tree trunks for that one. We aren't for this one, though. This is the tallest tree. Back there. So now that you know where those tree trunks are, you can use the tree trunks as the center here to help you place this block pattern here. And since they're all outlined with the nice borders and everything, I don't need to count them out for you, I think. And we just have a 3 air block gap here, 1, 2, 3, to get over to right here for that block there. And we do have some troublesome blocks in the middle here. So this leaf block here, if you count up 3 blocks, it's going to be that block there. 2 blocks and then 1 block over. Air gap of 2 blocks. And then we want to count out using this block again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then an additional 2 here for that one. And then 3 here for this one. And then 4 for this one and over 1. But then also 2 and over 1 that way. And then here, right in the middle, just count over 2 for that one. And that will give you some measurements to place those blocks there. Over here, let's take some more measurements. So here, that's going to be that block there, directly on top of the cornice at the back. 2 blocks and then 1, air gap of 1, 3 blocks right there for that one, that selection of blocks there. And then we will take a measurement off of here for 2 blocks, for those blocks there. And then from here, we will go over 2 and over 2 more that way. And then 1 here, 3 here, and 2 there. So we can kind of connect them together that way, and hopefully that will simplify the block placing process for you somewhat. That's going to be the best I can do for this. Over here for our house, we are placing the cornice on the first levels, like you see done here. 1:2 ratio, granite to deep slate, cobbled deep slate, all the way around the sides, except for the corners. Just a standard repeating pattern, like so. And on the top here, let me just show you from the top down. Of course, you can see we're putting on a ceiling again. And this follows the same design that we did before, with the oak tree trunks on their sides and the oak half slab coffers and the tops of those. We'll take a look at that from the underside in a moment. I want to give you a top-down view of it here. And we'll go down our stairs. Take a look up here, of course, and now we're completed our second series of rooms. And we're also putting the ceiling on our great room up here at the front. All right, not too bad. I think we've done most of the building so far. We just have even more trees to attend to. For this, I think we're losing our reference points. So we are going to take measurements. I'm going to take measurements from here. Whoops. We're going to take measurements from here for the moment. So count out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1. For that block there, air gap of 2 for that one there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1. For this one, gap of 3, block, and then air gap of 1, and then block. And then 3, and then 1. 1 here, more blocks, 2 there, and that pattern I think you can see. For that, let's come back over here and count out another 1 there. 1 here, 2 there. And then from this corner of the house here, count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 3, and then over 3 that way as well. And then here's our tree trunk for that. So I think this series of blocks will be, they're close enough together for you to see. Right there. And this one here at the front, however, I think we need to take a measurement. So from there, we want to count over 3 and then 4 for that one. Quite a tangle of blocks, as tree canopies tend to be. We've got, 5 custom palm trees right here in the middle. At the top here, we can see we're putting the designs for our rooftops for our little courtyards that we can walk around on. Right there, so I'll just show you that from the top down. We have our stairwell right there. And we do have, I don't think you need to have this granite underneath here like this for some reason. That's, that can be cobble, I think. Here's the design for the other patio on the front there. And we've completed everything down below that, so we don't need to go back inside, so we can go on to the next phase. Whereupon we go back to our leaf blocks. Yet again. How many phases? Too many. Anyway, let's take a measurement back here. So for our house, we are going to have our cornices leaning over an additional block. Like you see done here, you may want to go ahead and build this. It's going to do this over the entire L section of the house. At the back and along the sides, it's just like you see done here. And then we want to have just a little border of the deep slate tiles laid out here. And as you can see here also, we have the floor for our sunroom at the top. So if you want to, you can go ahead and make that pattern with the wood. You can use your staircase coming up to this third level here as the guide for that to help you place it correctly. Here's the design for the second patio. And let's go back to our trees. All right, so measuring from this corner here, we want to count 3 blocks over and then 2 blocks there for that. 1 block, 2, and then what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2, and then 2 there for that. And I think you can place the rest of those. They only got gaps of 1. For that there, we want to go back over here though. We got our tree trunk here, so we can use that as a guide and place the what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 1. And then a gap of 2 here for that. And then 1 there. All right, now we have this second troublesome section of leaf blocks. So we want to count out from the cornice, the very corner of that right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that will get us out to this section here. 3 blocks there, 1 there, and 2 there. So let's take a look at that from the top down, and I think you can now see how those relate to each other. Like so. And we will move on to the next phase. And I think we're over an hour now, but I can kind of see the end of the trees in sight. And once we do that, the tutorial is going to wrap up, so I don't want to break this up into a part 2. So let's try and keep going. I think I can do that today. It's just going to be a really long video. Anyway, let's take a look at the house first, I think. So we're just doing a border of cobbled deep slate right here, with little sections down here cut out for the windows. So I'm just going to show you this from the top down. And in order to get the video done, I may not say a whole lot from this point onwards, because we're getting to the point where I've talked for long enough that well, what I mean to say is I can only talk for so long. So we need to be a little bit more efficient with the words now. So in lieu of that, I'm going to give you just good close-in views of all of this and simple block counts for the leaves. So from this block here, we want to count, just count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, and then 1 here for this, 2, 1, 4. All right, and then let's just go down here. So this one is just attached right to the corner. And from here, we want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 1. Right there. And then that here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1. And then 2 block gap there for that section. For these over here, let's go back over here and count out 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 1, and then 2, and 2 again, total of 5. Right there, and then just 2 for that one there. All right, let's go on to the next phase. We finished with the patios. Their railings and everything are now complete. So now we just have the tree canopy over here for just a couple of more phases, and then our sunroom. So I'm just going to give you a view of the sunroom here. All these patterns are nothing new. It's basically what we did below. We just stacked it up for a second time at the top here. First, we have some safety railings around our stairs. And let's count out everything again. So you should know where these blocks are. So that's just 2 there. 2 there for that. 2 gap there for that one. From here, we want to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that block there for that. And then for this section here, we're almost done building these other trees over here, I think. But let's take some measurements anyway. So here, from our cornice, we want to count 1 there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 2 more there for that one. All right, next phase, let's do the leaves first. So with these leaf blocks we just placed there, we want to count over from the edge of our house 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we want to place those there. I think these are fairly clear enough. Just a 2 block gap for those leaf blocks over there. Over 2 blocks and then over 1. And then just a scatter of blocks here. So let's take a reference point. From here, we want to count up 3 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then from here, 3, 1, 2, and 3 and over 1. Details for the sunroom. Lintels over the doorway. It's all modular, so once you do a little bit of that, you know how to do the rest of it. You may already be ahead of me in constructing that part. Let's take a look at it again over here. Same deal. You just want to go up another section of blocks. Like that there. Repeat what you did there, and let's take a look at, we're almost to the end of these troublesome trees. Hey, that rhymed. Anyway, so over here from our cornice, we want to take up four blocks up, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 blocks of gap there for that. Over here, let's take a measurement from this point again. From 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just 2 blocks here. And I think you can see how the rest of these fit together. Next phase. A few more leaf blocks. Let's take this point here again. For over 3, and then over 1, and then over 1, 2, 3. There for that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. There, and then 2 there, and 1 there. Details for the sunroom. Just repeat the previous phase. That's all this is. We will go on to the next one. Actually, let's go over here. We've got our last, I think these are our last 4 leaf blocks. Thank goodness. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 3, 1, and there you go. So your palm tree garden is now complete. I hope you enjoy that with your nice shade in the desert. Now over here, we now have only the top section of our sunroom to focus on. So as you can see, diorite lintels over the windows, and oak tree trunks over all of those, like you see done there. So again, outside, now granite, just like we did below. You're doing that again. Oak on the inside here, like so. Repeating patterns, very simple. Do that entire phase again for this next level. And for this next level here, we want a big box of cobbled deep slate all around the exterior. Stack that up twice. For this level here, on the inside, repeating patterns of oak. Now we're putting a cornice on the top level here, just like we did below. Same design. Also details for the ceiling now. Oak beams and a cross pattern, just straight across, and some moldings of oak slabs right there. All right, next phase, we want to fill in our roof with just a straight sheet of granite and cobbled deep slate. On the inside here, we then want to have a lattice work of oak fences on the top there. Just fill those in like that. And then this room on the inside will be complete. Your nice little sunroom where you can relax, have yourself some food. Over here, of course, we finished all this in the middle, so we're just putting on the final cornice for the building, like you see done here. All the way around, big rectangle. Like that there. And then for our very last phase, on top of all that cobblestone, just put a big rectangle of cobbled deep slate, like that there. And once you have done that, your luxurious desert house will be complete. So I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial for the desert house. This has been a much requested build, and I hope you enjoy it in your worlds. Do remember, the world is available, of course, for download in the video description, both for Bedrock and Java. And I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.